This is Cynthia Kenna for Esoterica, a short feature which delves into the realms of the extraordinary. And today I'd like to talk with you about the now. Not the past, not the future, but the now. Right now. Evidently, it's the only time there is. And this makes some sense, for when is it not now? The answer to that question is never. It is never not now. I've always been interested in the nature of time. I've asked mathematicians, scientists, spiritual leaders about it, asking, other than an artificial construct, other than a shared agreement based on a clock kept in Greenwich, London, that this point in the day is 3 p.m. and that point in the day is 5 a.m. and so on, other than a way to get us from point A to point B at the same moment so we can have lunch together, what is time? Because if it's just so we can do and plan things together at the same moments, then it is indeed an artificial construct, nothing more than a very useful, mutual, worldwide agreement. Did you know that we're still not sure what time is? Did you know that the matter of time is still debated? Some refer to it as the fourth dimension, independent of events, a thing in and of itself. This is what Newton thought. Kant held the view that time is not a thing, not a container in which events occur or move through. He, like me, suspected it was simply an artificial construct, an intellectual structure, measured only by a contrived contraption known as a clock. Eckhart Tolle thinks the same thing, and expands upon it in his bestseller, The Power of Now. Tolle states, "The eternal present is the space within which your whole life unfolds, the one factor that remains constant. Life is now. There was never a time when your life was not now, nor will there ever be. What you think of as a past is a memory trace, stored in the mind, of a former now. When you remember the past, you reactivate a memory trace, and you do so now. The future is an imagined now, a projection of the mind. When the future comes, it comes as the now. When you think about the future, you do it now. Past and future obviously have no reality of their own. So let's think about it. The past is literally only a memory, and we know how flawed that can be. You can't point to the past at all, only to pictures of it, recollections of it, books written about it, stuff still hanging around that were made in it, but not the past itself. And like the past, the future doesn't exist either. Just our hopes, dreams, and fears of it. And yet we spend most of our lives living within this artificial construct called time, dragging our perceptions of the past and our hopes for the future along behind us like the chains that tortured Jacob Marley in A Christmas Carol. Tolle says, "Your life's journey is no longer an adventure, just an obsessive need to arrive, to attain, to make it. You no longer see or smell the flowers by the wayside either, nor are you aware of the beauty and the miracle of life that unfolds all around you when you are present in the now." And if we live in the now, Tolle states, we will have access to some amazing stuff, like enlightenment, happiness, and peace, because, in the words of the 13th century spiritual teacher Meister Eckhart, time is what keeps the light from reaching us. There is no greater obstacle to God than time. Try it for yourself. Access the now, this portal to all the important things we long for but can somehow never reach. Tolle instructs us to listen intently to our thoughts and recognize that they are not us. This passive but alert listening, without judging or labeling, brings us out of time and into the now. And by listening to the ramblings of our thoughts, we soon become aware that our mind and its output, thoughts, are actually quite separate from who we really and actually are. By using this vigilant watching technique, and doing so often, reminding ourselves to be fully present, to be here in the now, we begin to retrain ourselves to live not in the chains of the past or the false enthralls of the future, but right here, right now. I've been doing this for a few weeks, and I feel a little different, less reactive, more resilient, and comforted as well. Try it and see what you think. This is CJ Kenna for Esoterica. Thanks for listening.